What's up, everybody? It's your boy Marvin Melendez. You're listening to All My Friends Talk podcast, where I talk to all my creative artists, advocates, and amazing friends. This episode is really fun for me. It's a real treat because we have a new co-host. So this is if you guys were listening to the podcast earlier, you heard Monique Schmidt on the podcast. She has an excellent TikTok account where she's often talking about parenthood and mental health. And it was that was a great conversation we had. And afterwards, I asked her if she'd be interested in coming on the podcast just as a full-time co-host. So we've been talking for the last few months. I put the podcast on pause, trying to see see if she was interested. And luckily she has decided to come on and at least for a few episodes. I'm not sure how long she'll be on the podcast, which is sort of a test run. And this particular episode was one that we didn't really even plan to do. We kind of both just realized we had a free moment, so we wound up doing it right then and there. So we didn't really have a topic going into the podcast, but it was still so much fun, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So be sure to give it a listen and let us know what you think.
Okay. I think it was okay, but I think it was Snoop Dogg who said on a podcast, he's like, what is up with all these rappers who are just so like this new wave of like just lack of creativity? They're all just like biters. Have you heard the phrase biters? Like everybody's like copying each other. Like everybody's a biter, like doing the same kind of beat, the same kind of like style and rhythm and flow. And it's like the only like originals I can think of are Chance the Rapper. Oh shoot, if I don't, I'm gonna get beat up if I don't think of his name right now. He did the song "Try Jesus, Not Me." Try Jesus, not me.
Don't know it.
Cause I throw hands. Toby. Oh, I don't want to butcher his last name. Toby Nwenge.
Oh yes, that dude's so
love him.
good.
And Anderson .Paak, and Andy Mineo. Yo, the music he's been coming out with has been like fire, like straight up fire.
Right.
Oh, and if there's one that there is one that I need to bring up to you. It's called the song is called Willie, but it's by No Big Deal, featuring Andy Mineo.
I like No Big Deal.
Sick artist.
He seems sick. Okay. Actually, let's just dive into this topic. Okay, so my viewpoint on people biting is the same reason why we don't have original movies anymore.
Oh my gosh, tell me about it.
There's no the most recent original movie that I saw was Tom Hanks' News of the World. It was a Western, and it was cool. It was a fun movie. I liked it, right? There's not a lot of original movies that are made from scratch these days, right? Like they're either part of a collective franchise already, they had a book, they were part of a viral story, they're a spin-off, they're a sequel, they're a reboot. There's very, very few big budget original movies. Why?
Yeah.
Because original movies won't sell as big as as a Marvel movie. Same reason why you're not gonna have original sounds and music being popular. I can tell you a lot of really good hip-hop artists that don't sound like the mainstream guys. The problem is that they're not pushed by the mainstream media. Now they're still fire, they're still amazing, and they're still getting millions of views on YouTube. But you're not gonna see them promoted on Instagram. You're not gonna see them promoted on through Spotify. They're just they just have that small cult following.
I would definitely agree about, especially in film, in media, like Disney and how they just do live action for everything instead of being original with original like movies. I don't want to see a live action Lion King. It's basically CG. Why would I pay for it I haven't even seen it.
Did you see it?
I have not seen the live action Mulan.
It was so bad.
Because garbage is garbage. Like all they care about it makes money. That's it.
Yeah.
And then one of the worst parts is, at least for me, is when they recreate like live action Little Mermaid and they cast a black lead to play Ariel. My anger is not that she's black. My anger is that they are just throwing out like stories that have been done before instead of creating new princesses, because we
Yeah.
already know what Ariel looks like, but they're not creating new Black princesses. Instead, they're just trying to be like, here, let's just throw in some other minority groups to be the lead instead of like creating like an original story. And that's infuriating for me. It's lazy, and it's just money grabbing. It's just trying to appease to the public for what they've been asking for, which is representation. And representation does not mean, oh, go ahead and just cast a story that we've heard millions of times before as
Yeah.
a minority person or a BIPOC, but create something new. Like that's what I want. As a Latina, that's what I want. I want original.
Do you think though is that on the networks or is that on us? So
Man,
I have a movie I'm working
hmm,
on that we are currently working on fundraising and shooting. Like I just got the phone with the producer yesterday. And
yes.
I gotta have an email from the director. Like there's things in place. The lead character, which will be played by me because I will be in. I don't know. I just want to be in all my own stuff. Like why write it and not
Yeah,
be
you
in it?
do.
But but right, like the lead
You should.
character speaks Spanish, right? Like a couple
Yeah.
times in the film,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
Anything else I write, whether I decide to play the lead or not, like to me, that will be like any character I write that I will play as Hispanic. Like that's just what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's up to any other network to let me in. I want you to let me in. I want to be invited to the table. I want to I want to have that phone call. I want to have those conversations. But I mean,
Hmm.
nobody let me in with the project I'm working on now. Granted, we're still like a little ways from production. We're not shooting yet, but at the end of the day, I assembled a team on my own. I casted the other
Mhm.
two cast members on my own. Like, you know what I mean? The producer,
Amazing.
it's just me and her right now going hard. Mainly, me, I can't talk too much about it right now, but I will eventually. But like at the end of the day, it
I'm
is up
excited.
to. Yeah, I know. I'll
When
tell you
it's not
off
when
of.
we're not recording, listen, when we're not recording,
No,
you can go ahead and tell
yeah, but that like at the end of the day, I'm not mad at a company for making money. You can't
Yeah.
fault Disney for making money. If they see that there's a
Yeah.
shot, they're gonna take it. It's just
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like it's up
So
to
for
you
okay,
as a creative to create your story.
right. For me, there's a difference between taking something that was already done and just remaking it, like live action cartoons or remaking old Indiana Jones movies or continue like things that have already been done where they're trying to redo, right? Or like make new. And that's the thing that I have a hard time getting on board with. But when it comes to things like the Mandalorian, like the Star Wars universe
Hmm.
or the Marvel Cinematic Universe, those are based on either fan fictions or stories or comics that have already been written. But now we just want to see it play out on screen. And honestly, I don't know if you've seen Loki or if you've seen WandaVision, but oh my gosh, they cannot come out with Loki to season 2 fast enough. I'm just like,
I haven't seen
I'm
Loki. I
dying
did
here.
see WandaVision.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, I'm
I
not
almost
even
didn't
playing.
watch it on purpose.
Like, listen, I get it. I get the fatigue
No,
of Marvel everything. I get it.
I
But
felt
there's something to be said about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Well, now Captain America, Winter Soldier, WandaVision, and Loki, where I'm just like, take me in. Like I'm
I
sold. I'm there.
I didn't watch I didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. I started the first 30 minutes. I hated it. I was like, this is boring. I love The Mandalorian.
That's fair.
Granted, I did do a whole podcast one time saying The Mandalorian sucks. Like that was the title of the podcast. It was like 2 years ago. And then I went back and watched it again.
Okay, no
And that's
lie,
off the
I didn't
air.
finish The Mandalorian. So
It's no, it's fire. I haven't started Loki only because I don't want to wait episode by episode. I'm just gonna wait till it's all out and then I'll binge it.
oh, it's all
But
out. Loki's all out.
okay, then I'll binge it. But what I will
Binge
say
it.
is WandaVision, I didn't watch WandaVision when it first came out because it made me really sad. Because three or
Because of
four years
Vision.
ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I had a conversation with my friends and I pitched them an idea of a TV show. I said, this is
Mhm.
actually no, this is like 7 years. This is before I wrote my movie. So it's like 7 or 8 years ago. So guys, what if we make a TV show and we'll kind of make it like a sketch? What we'll do is we'll have the same storyline and we'll have the same actors, but every episode, it's a different type of show. And I was like, and then we'll just we'll make it like this will be like this. And then the next episode, it's the same story, same characters, but the whole format's different. Now it's a sitcom, and now it's a family show, and now it's a drama, and now it's a and I was like, yo, that'll be fire. And then WandaVision comes out. Not only with a concept so similar to mine, but so much better than mine. I was
Oh
like,
no.
I'm not doing that. Like, why would I watch something that I thought of and then I watched it and I was like, this, and I like that the very end, I was like, this is so much better than I could ever come up with. Like, I'm glad I didn't do my thing, but now I can never do my thing because I'm like it that was so good. So
Well, why not watch it and let that educate you or teach you a little bit to help you in your craft, right? So like if like as poets, right? We
yeah.
listen to other poets who are far better than us, and then we can confidently say, "Wow, that was fire. That was good. I can take some things away from that."
Yeah.
But not
It's
reject it just because it's an idea that you already had and they did it better.
okay, so there's a difference though. With poets, right? How many poets are slapping on like a massive scale, right? Like poetry is like a niche market as far as like audience wise.
Right.
Everybody in college writes poetry. How many people after college are still listening and still writing? It's just a different thing. Now with Marvel, there's such a big scale thing. And granted, I did like evolve my idea into something else that maybe I'll shoot down the road. Like there's a, I did take it as like, okay, if I can't do that, maybe I can do this, and this would still work, and this could still be really cool, fun, and creative. But it's just when you watch something so good, right? I think there's this idea that I could never live up to that. I wrote a poem about this yesterday, actually like
Hmm.
last night. Like sometimes some things are just so great, it's hard to feel like you'll ever match up to that. And for me, I always want to be the best. I want to be the goat in everything I do. So if
Hmm.
I write a poem,
I
I'm on stage and it flops, I was like, dude, that sucked. I don't know.
But isn't the point of knowing that you can succeed is at least trying and failing? Because if you don't try, that's failure in itself. But if you're trying and you screw up, at least you tried, right? Because you could only get better, right? It's like I'm doing like Olympic powerlifting right now, right? I'm doing this like kind of CrossFit like workout routines. I When I
Are you
started,
trying to get
I
guns?
was so in yes. Like I
Okay.
got guns, dude. Like I got guns for days, like tickets to the gun show, ching. But when I started, and this was like probably 5 months ago now, I was so intimidated. I wanted to end after like 20 minutes, be like, no, and make up some lame excuse. And my trainer at the time, she was very like gracious. She's like, take your time, like you got it, you're getting there. And after a month, they started doing 6 p.m. classes. And I was like, that I can do. I can't do the morning time because it's just an awkward time with my kids and stuff. But when I started doing the 6 p.m., I went the first night, and the trainer, she was just hard on me, like in a gentle way. And she was watching me lift like dumbbells, and I was doing like maybe 20s. And she's like, do 25s because you can. And I believe in you. Right. And I was like, no way, no way. Like, there's no way I could do this. Right. Like every time like I didn't do something, I felt like I could never get it done. But every day I kept going. I kept going. I got to the point of 4 nights a week. I was working out hardcore for an hour each night. And I stopped back in like late June for a period of a month. There were just a lot of back-to-back things happening here. Like our kids kept getting sick. We were in the process of like signing leases and moving and all these things. But I realized that, oh my gosh, I need to get back into this because I saw how much better I got from when I started to when I stopped. And now I'm like back in it and I'm like, I know I can do it because I did it before. So I'm going to do it. And if we're not challenging ourselves, like even if you fail, there's like this phrase, I forgot what it's called, but it's like you do as many reps until you hit failure, right? Until you literally cannot
Oh yeah.
lift. And as soon as you failure, you've succeeded because you hit the max weight and rep that you couldn't do before. And you
Yeah.
hit it. And I think the point of like, even as creative people, is still trying because there will always be someone better than you. There will always be someone else doing a better thing. But there's only one you, and there's only one your perspective on something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I do think that sometimes I think sometimes
Ah, yeah, disagree.
no, it's not even that. I think that as a creator, I'll tell anybody like just keep doing it, keep writing, keep acting, keep auditioning,
Mm-hmm.
do it. I think that there is sometimes this fear of like if you are self-aware within yourself sometimes, like I know that I'm a good poet. There's no doubt about it. So for me, I don't get self-conscious when I hear other great poets because I know that I'm good, right? And that's like an ego thing.
Right.
I I just am, right? I don't know if I'm a good screenwriter yet. I haven't it hasn't been tested, it hasn't been proven.
Yep.
So I think it's hard that when you are in the very beginning, like the infant stages of that journey of that new creative outlet, like, are you good enough to compete? To me, I won't do anything. And I don't know if this is a good mindset to have or even healthy, but I won't do anything unless I can think that I can one day be the best at it. I don't ever want to be known as like someone who's like, oh yeah, he's all right or he's good. Like I don't want to be like a good actor. I want to be one of the greats. I don't want to be a good screenwriter. I want to be one of the greats. And granted,
Mm-hmm.
and so if I don't think I can be as great as you, like I don't rap, right? Like I mean, I do sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when I've had too much to drink, but
That,
you know what I mean?
that's
But I
so for
just
honesty here.
remember I remember when I like back when I was trying to rap and I would like find beats on write songs. I just didn't think of myself like I remember thinking I was gonna be great. And then finally I hear back, I was like, oh, I was off beat a lot, or I couldn't catch the rhythm in time. And so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna keep doing this because I don't know if I can be great at it. Or at least I don't know if I can be the best. Does that make sense?
What if you, yeah, it does, but so like I see what you're saying, but I have a question for you. What is your desire to be a screenwriter? Like, is that something that you really, really want to do?
Going. All right. So I never really thought about being a screenwriter growing up. Like that wasn't like the dream, right? I didn't know what the dream was. I thought of one funny thing that could happen. One thing happened in my life. I was like, okay, what if I told this person? How would they react? That
Mm-hmm.
spiraled into just like a train full of thoughts. So then, like, I would tell other people about it. They liked it. I was like, okay, maybe I have something here. I met my wife. We were dating. I'm super like ADD, ADHD. Like I can't focus to save my life. So I would actually just tell her the movie and she would write it down for me. So she Googled how to write a
Mm,
script and we just put in the script format and that was that. Right.
nice.
So and then I went and tried to make it. And this would be like my fourth attempt at making it. And so if it gets working. But that the point is this is that the idea like but once I wrote it and like once other people were hearing it and liking it, then I knew I had something. And once I wrote it, I realized I'm having so much fun writing this. I started taking acting classes and doing like plays just so I can experience what it's like acting. And like, dude, I'm loving this. Once I
Mm,
did it, then I knew this is what I want to do forever. Right. But it wasn't like but it
Yeah.
really it was just like an accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I mean, that's great. I love how you figured that out, like kind of discovered that, stumbled upon it. But how does that tie into not wanting to watch WandaVision? Because I was saying,
Because
like,
oh yeah,
just
yeah,
keep
yeah, okay.
going at it.
Yeah.
Just keep going
So
at it and like you get better and better.
yeah, absolutely. But I think watching something so great that was I think it was hard to watch something great that hit close to home. I thought of that idea of WandaVision. I like to
Okay.
me, I like, and so it was really hard to watch an idea that I had be done without me and be so successful. That's the part that's
Mhm.
hard. It isn't even so much that like, okay, no, WandaVision will be like I should be inspired to do better. Like I think, of course, I think everyone should always be inspired to do better. But it's really hard when you think you have something special and someone else does it before you. I think
Mhm.
that's that part. Someone got to it first and did it better.
Yeah.
Now let's say I did it first and they just went up me and was like, I was like, that was cool, you know. But I think
Yeah.
that pain came from why like the pain comes from just knowing that someone did it first and did it better than my own original idea. So I'll keep
Mhm.
writing. Like I have 8 more on like as far as like actual stuff that started, right?
Yeah.
So I'll keep going, but it's not like I don't know. It was just hard to watch a WandaVision. I think you feel envious, you feel jealous, right? You watch someone else's success and you're
Yeah.
like, that should have been me to an extent.
If it's causing jealousy and envy, then yes, I'd say stay away, right? I'd say don't talk to them, or you know what, that's something that you should probably work out in your own heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe one day when you're ready, watch the show.
Yeah. I did eventually watch
Just
it, to be clear. Like I watched it
oh yeah,
eventually and I
so
cried because it was so beautiful.
it
It was
was so
so
good.
good. You know what I
She's
mean?
the
And then
Scarlet Witch.
yeah, like I mean, dude, it just the way that dude, it was perfect. Like there was literally
hmm
nothing wrong with the show.
Yeah, I felt like there were a couple loopholes. I'll have to go back and rewatch it because there were some plot holes that I felt were there, but I can't think of it right now because I'd have to like do my research and we'll come back to it and have a whole Marvel
Yeah.
episode.
I was so down for that.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah. But anyways, so yeah. There was something I did want to ask you though.
Hmm.
And you said that you're frustrated with um you said you were frustrated that like they forced diversity on you.
The forcing of diversity, not the forcing of diversity. That's not what I said. It was more of the not giving original stories to minority people groups. Like Raya.
Yeah.
Have you seen Raya and the Last Dragon?
Yeah, it sucked.
That is a hella original story. It's
Yeah, but
beautiful.
it sucked.
What?
Raya
Oh,
sucked.
goodbye. I can't
No,
continue anymore. What do you mean it sucked? It
it
was
wasn't
very in your
good.
face
It
about
was so
unity.
it was good. Now what about Moana?
Oh my gosh, I cry at Moana every time. Do you
Yeah.
hate Moana too?
Um
Oh my gosh, you hate Moana.
I don't
You
hate
hate Moana.
Moana. No.
Listen,
Moana
listen. I
Moana is a movie that should take 15 minutes and instead it was 3 hours. There's a huge plot fail in that movie that nobody talks about.
oh no, the Maui coming back. Yes, that's a massive plot hole that I still can't wrap my head around.
You know what you could do? Here's a rock. Here you go, lady. Here's your rock back. Done. That's but no, you got to go through
No,
the
no, no.
sea. You got to talk to the
Well, like,
ocean. You got to go find this demigod who's not.
do you know
What was
why?
his whole
Do you know
point?
why? Because let's think about story and character growth, right? Maui's original desire was always to please people. He stole the heart of Tafiti because he wanted to please people. And when he failed at that, he became resentful and angry and embittered. And then next thing you know, he's banished to some small island and he has to wrestle by being alone. When his whole origin story was that he was abandoned by his own family because they hated him. It's all about finding who you are, figuring out you. And okay, no, stick with me here. Stick with me here. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus, right?
Yeah. Oh,
And
you're about to make
Moana biblical. That Tikka, yo, I cry every time. Every time when I think about how when Tikka, as an angry lava god, is like wanting to fight, and Moana realizes that's Te Fiti, she starts singing, "I know your name. They've stolen the heart from inside you, but that does not define you." Oh, chills. I get chills every time. Every time. And for me, that is something that I personally feel that God has spoken in my life, where he's like, it doesn't matter what the world says that you are. I know your name. And whatever has happened in the past doesn't define who you are today. Personally, have your opinions. Go.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really good opinion. But
yeah, it was.
No, here's the thing. I think it was good. So I'm glad that there are some original storylines there. Like, so Moana, I am glad. So I would say this. I'm glad that Moana was so successful as an original storyline that was someone who isn't white. You know what I mean? And I'm glad.
Absolutely.
I'm glad Raya, or what was it, Raya? Raya was good at like not being like, it was a successful story. I just didn't like the stories that much, like as in whole. I mean, but also, I mean, Pixar though does do a great job of like not making all their characters white.
Pixar doesn't write movie for kids. Pixar writes movies for the adults.
Yeah. I mean, like Coco. Do you know how often like me and my wife sing Coco songs to each other? And
oh my gosh, I cried.
We didn't even have kids when that movie came out.
I made the mistake of watching Coco when I was pregnant, and I cried so hard, so freaking hard. You'd be shocked by the amount of things I've cried to. I have cried, Marvin. I don't know what your wife has said about pregnancy and hormones, but I will tell you this. I cried to Toto's Africa. I bless the rains down in
My wife loves that song too. That's like one of her top 5.
Listen, I was reading one day. I was pregnant with our second. I was reading the Genius lyrics, on Spotify.
Yeah.
And I was reading what they wrote it about, and I was literally in shambles. And I was on my way to work, and my husband's driving me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "They bless the rains in Africa." It was bad.
No,
please continue with Raya and the story.
No, like I think, going back to our original, like my original point, like I do think it's great that there is like original storytelling. I do want there to be more of it. You know what? Who like has failed consistently in storytelling? The DC universe and original storytelling. So have you watched Batwoman?
I think Zack Snyder is.
No, I'm talking about.
Hell no.
Okay, so Batwoman. I used to watch all this. So okay, say what you want about the DC movies; they're terrible. They suck. I know that. Wonder Woman was the only one that was good. The DC comic
except 1984.
TV shows, I heard that sucked. I didn't even watch it. I don't want to be disappointed. I heard it
was so bad. I'll watch it just to say I watched it and critique it.
Judgment. But if you so the DC had like great TV shows. Arrow, the first, like they had out of 8 seasons, they had like
Flash.
Like that Flash. I mean, it kind of sucks now. I don't watch it anymore. Supergirl was.
Are you talking about Supergirl?
the Supergirl TV show, like season 4 was one of the best TV show seasons I've ever seen in a TV show. Like just period. It was
Well,
phenomenal.
Smallville. You know Smallville.
I don't watch Smallville. That's Smallville's corny. Smallville's corny. Stop.
Mm-mm.
Terrible acting. Terrible acting. Stories were
Okay.
so like it was just corny. So it's not that
Okay.
it's bad. And but no.
Okay.
So
I give.
they
Probably.
they
Maybe it's because it's nostalgic for me, but
I guarantee that's what it is. Like I had
kind of
never
like
saw it, so I
Buffy.
tried
No,
watching it as an adult, and like for the first time, I was like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna fly."
no.
So, but all right, so they made Batwoman, right? So I was kind of looking forward to because Black Lightning was cool, I loved it, and then I was like, Batwoman, cool, a new superhero show, and they casted Ruby Rose, right? Who is she's a pretty
Mm.
decent actress, and
Yeah, she is.
she's bisexual, and people were mad at them casting Ruby Rose
Why would they be mad at that?
because they wanted someone who was fully lesbian to be the lead character because the character in the I guess in the show was supposed to be full lesbian. So they said you can't cast Ruby Rose because she's bi, not lesbian. Okay, it gets better.
It's like, oh my gosh,
Oh no, hold
I'm
on, hold on.
so angry. Oh my gosh,
It's gonna
freaking
get worse.
people.
It's gonna get
Don't,
worse. So then Ruby
Marvin,
Rose
you're making
exits.
me angry.
Oh, I'm gonna make you even more upset. Ruby Rose exits after the first season because she had too many injuries during her stunts. So she left. So rather than recasting her, they want to replace the character with a new Batwoman. All right. Which I guess. So they said that they were searching. This is what the casting called. They were looking for someone who was black, and they wanted a black lesbian actress. Right. I have no problem with you being like a black lesbian or that being portrayed in the media. Like cool, like make that happen. I have a
Okay.
problem with forced diversity, right? I have a problem with it being forced. So you pick a very narrow specific of not just people to play a character, but of who could play the character, right? So narrow specific. And then they casted one girl. I haven't seen the second season. From my understanding, the actress, like, and I'm sure she's a great person. From my understanding, in the show, she doesn't act well. And maybe she's kills it in other places. The show, she's just not carrying like great acting scenes. Not only that, the first episode,
Yeah.
they had her as an ex-convict, right, who just got out of jail for whatever reason, and then she sees the bat suit, so she steals the bat suit. Someone says, "Hey, you can't have that. That's the bat suit." She goes, "I found it. I'm keeping it. Peace." Right, and then goes off. So not only did you cast them, like you want
That's a
to be,
terrible origin story.
yes,
That's the
thank you.
most bull. That's the shittiest origin story I have ever heard. Like, it would be different if they had a character who was, you know, born and raised, like, and she was lesbian, came out, like, if that's her backstory and she wanted justice for all the things that she experienced or whatever, amazing. But that backstory is so lazy. Like, the frick? That's the
Yeah.
laziest thing I've ever heard. That's bullshit.
So,
I hate that.
anyways, yeah. So here's the thing, though. I mean, I don't know who like the origin of the writers, but I think it's back to what I was saying. The reason why you need like as minorities, right? I'm Puerto Rican. You're Brazilian, right? Like like
Yes, I am.
like the reason why you need
Chris
like
Hutcherson.
to you need to create your own stuff is so like nobody else can dictate like your own story. Like create like get out there, create your own story, write your own story, write your own narrative, write your own like history will be is like what is it? History is told by the victor, but it's also told by the writer. You know what I mean? Like you are the right, like, and we're at such age now where there's so many sources for your history, for your culture. Like, go out there and write it on your own, and don't rely on like these super companies to let you in. Like, just make up your own
It's
stuff.
I
Make up your own
think what's
superhero.
exactly. I think what's frustrating for me is when there's such an expectation from the public for these other media moguls and media companies to be doing all this work, where it's like, if you like Moonlight, Best Picture, like all minority, like minority like the director, he was Black. Yes, and he went to school in Florida. Like, I don't know what I'm saying there. Point is, there is great stories to be told, just like you're saying. There are great stories to be told, but there cannot be this reliance on the mega giant media companies to carry them out, because they're going to edit it down for their shareholders. They don't care. They care about making money. And if they're not making money, they're not going to make it. They're going to look at the demographics. They're going to look at the people groups, like whatever. The point is, if it's a good story, make a good story. If it sucks, it sucks. Like, there's something to be said about a movie so bad that it's good. And if you love it because of how bad it is, then shouldn't it be a technically good movie? Like the movie The Room. You know, that the one that's where it's like the one that he oh hey Mark I forgot, I've never seen it, but
I don't know. Mark Wahlberg with Zooey Deschanel.
No, what? No, The Room. Hold on, let me pull it up for you. The Room.
When you said movies so bad that they were good, I was thinking of Batman v Superman. Did you ever see that one?
Listen, The Room. Which one?
Batman v Superman.
Ugh.
It is the worst movie I've ever seen.
One would. But that's so bad that no one wants to see it because of how bad it is. The Room, which is this one right here, it's labeled as the worst movie. Okay, this movie is labeled as the worst movie of all time. Yet, it has a cult following because of how bad it is. It's so bad that they made a recreation movie of the behind the scenes of that movie. And that movie won best screenwriting or whatever. Like, I don't know. Point is, like, there are movies that are really bad that they have a cult following. What am I trying to say here? The point is, either make a good story that people are going to love, or make a bad story that people are going to love to hate.
Yeah.
I mean, like, everything with forced diversity, I think for me, if they were casting a Latina as Ariel or a Latina as Cinderella, I'd be like kind of annoyed. Like, there's never been a Latina. There's never been a Latina Cinderella. Neither do I want one. I would rather have an original Latina princess.
Yeah.
Give me an original. Don't just spoon feed me what I already know about a story that I'm already comfortable with. Just because you're casting it, like, the perfect example of non-forced diversity is Black Panther.
Yeah, agree.
Black Panther
100%
was an original story. He is original. He was original from the get-go. He's
not the white version or something, or the girl version of this. Right?
Exactly. He's not the Black version or the man version. Nothing. He is original. And he was a hero that every little boy who was Black could look up to. White and Black and Asian and Latino, like, all these little kids can look up to. But he wasn't forced. He wasn't forced on anyone. And it was a good story too.
But also, the director is Black, the writers are Black, you know, like, it was. There's something to be said about, like, the people who are writing the behind the scenes need to reflect what's on the screen, right? Did you watch Luke Cage?
Like, representation behind the scenes, yes.
Luke Cage,
in Mulan, there was no representation behind the scenes, huh?
Right. Same with Luke Cage. Luke Cage, most of the writers and directors were white on an all Black cast, and it came off so, like, corny and cheesy. You know what I mean? It's like.
Don't tell me it was like stereotype. Was it stereotype? That's annoying.
And in some ways, but, like, I don't even know how to put it. Like, and I was like, look, I don't know how realistic this is. I just know that it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel normal, you know? So,
yeah.
Anyways. But anyway, so yeah. So,
yo, you got to pick up your wifey. You got to pick up wifey in like 40 minutes.
Yes, I do. All right. Okay, yeah,
you do. Where's
we're
baby?
30 minutes away. Yeah, they're
Hey,
30 minutes
where's
away.
baby?
Baby's with the
Wait,
wife,
what's your son's name again?
Emmanuel.
Emmanuel. And what's your wife's name again?
Noel.
Noel. Where did they go?
Atlanta.
For what?
She had an appointment that she wanted to that like that she wants to go to Atlanta specifically for. So she took the baby with her.
Hmm.
So like
Okay.
so like she calls me this morning and I was like, babe, the house is a mess. And she's like, Marvin,
No.
I was like, yeah, there's some pizza boxes out here. Like, I spent the weekend by myself. So it's like, she's like, are you gonna clean it? I was like, yeah, I mean, do you want me to? And she's like, yes, I want you to clean
Excuse?
the mess that you made.
Yes.
I was like, okay, yeah, like I could do that, So,
Yeah, you can. You can do it. You're not a bachelor anymore.
yeah, it's weird, man. It was weird living like a bachelor. Um,
Yeah.
but
Dang.
yeah, so I am so glad that you're on this podcast.
I'm
Like,
so glad to be here. Thank you for asking me to join you on this new experience.
yeah, I think when we talked on the podcast last night, I was like, I remember saying I told you I was looking for a co-host, and then I actually like started a conversation with someone, and then when our episode aired, I listened to our episode. Like I was like, I called my office like, what do you think about bringing Monique on the podcast as like as a co-host? She's like, ask her, So and you
You
were about to
asked
start your
Noelle?
own. I asked Noelle first to see how she felt about our vibe. So I was like,
Oh,
I was,
okay. Cool.
yeah. So I was like, what do you think about her as a guest? She's like, well, let me. And so she liked the episode, and I don't know. And we also did like our stats.
Yay.
Our stats went really well on that episode too. So,
Yeah, dude.
uh, so yeah, this is gonna be
I
fun,
felt like
man.
it was
This
kind
is
of awkward at some moments, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, we'll figure it out. And also, like, we
We'll
haven't.
figure it out.
I don't know if like we haven't seen each other in person in like 10 years either. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. No, it's been since 2013 for sure. For sure. Because
Yeah,
that's when
at
I
the very
graduated from
minimum.
UF. Yes. I
So
didn't get to go to Galloway wedding because I was living here. I, got the invite, couldn't go.
gotcha.
But yeah.
I don't even know if I went. I don't think I went. No, I was there. I did. I went through the wrong door and I walked through the groom's side and I accidentally was wearing the same colors as all the grooms. So it was like really awkward. And they're
Oh
like,
no.
are you in the wedding? I was like, nope, leaving.
No, that happened to me one time. That straight up happened to me one time. One of my friends invited me to her wedding, and I thought I'll wear this really cute A-line Calvin Klein kind of silky pretty dress, right? Like knee length. I was like, beautiful, love it. I happened to run into the wedding party. Guess the fabric and the color and the cut. Red silk A-line dresses. And I'm like, I'm gonna go sit now. I had some people asking me if I was in the wedding party. I was like, no, just happened to be
coincidence.
wearing the same everything.
That's hilarious. Oh man. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all right, I'm gonna add real quick. Before we
Mhm.
go, do you want to plug any of your stuff? Wait, are you doing anything right now?
No, man.
You're
Like
there's
I
a
said, like my mental health has been one of the greatest challenges of my life for the last
yeah.
almost 10 years. And I get into these lulls where I'm having a test done tomorrow for ADHD. And part of the struggles with ADHD, it's also starting something amazing and awesome and not finishing. Like I started
Yes.
do
Oh,
I didn't finish. I wanted to start my podcast. I didn't finish. I so tired of starting and stopping that I just stopped
yeah.
attention to complete something. And I don't know what it's going to take for me to just finish what I start, but maybe sitting here and doing this with you is going to help me get there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but you done a lot. I mean, obviously you got your own platforms, you did successful a lot of things. So like you're gonna be great. You're gonna figure it out. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm 33. This is the year that Jesus came out into his ministry, right? No, he came out into his ministry when he was 30.
Yeah, he died at
He
33.
died at 33. Oh Lord, thank you, Jesus, for your sacrifice. I'm not even trying to be funny. um, so Jesus' ministry started when he was 30, but how many years? Am I frozen again?
No, your picture is frozen, but your audio is still coming in, so we're good.
Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, he was like his life before having a 3-year ministry was in the background. You don't hear anything about it except the time he was 12 years old and then silent until he was 30. You know,
Yeah.
we don't know what happened in those formative years. So maybe right now what's happening is that because I strived so long to be known by people, to be successful at something, I don't feel like I've let the Lord work on my heart the way that needs to be kind of worked at.
Gotcha.
So in some ways, I'm really glad to be off social media, not doing anything, because I don't feel this pressure. So right now my focus is family, marriage, working out, and now this.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Like I said, it's the first episode with my new co-host, Monique Schmidt. Be sure to comment below if you're watching on YouTube or Instagram, and just give us your feedback and your thoughts on it. And then also like, comment, and share this with your friends. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. And like I said, welcome Monique to the podcast, and can't wait to keep bringing you guys more stuff. Awesome. Anyways, love you guys. Talk to you later.